Well, of course, we've been keeping our eyes on the development in Iran. And of course, in this conversation, I'm being joined by Arise analyst Kade in America, who is pro-Trump. And later on the program, of course, we'll be joined by Doc Brooks in Dubai, who is a Trump critic, to discuss these happenings. But let's begin with Rotimi. Thank you so much, Rotimi, for your time. Well, 3 rounds of negotiations had taken place in Muscat and Geneva in recent weeks, and I'm sure you were on top of that. What do you think changed so dramatically or drastically that diplomacy gave way to airstrikes?
Well, that's a very good question. I think the United States couldn't wait any further because there are so many uncertainties at the meeting. Iran, on one hand, will say we're ready to negotiate and discuss the possibilities of, not developing our nuclear weapons or nuclear capabilities. On the other hand, they will say that, hey, we want to develop in the best interest of our nation. So they're speaking from both sides of their mouth. And I think the U.S. and the Israeli delegation were running out of time, running out of patience as well. And that's the reason why the talk actually broke down. We understand that just later today, earlier today, I should say, when the Iranian foreign minister has been interviewed, he said, well, Iran is still negotiating and they are moving towards a more amiable agreement with the United States before the strike. So Iran is obviously not been, been very sincere with, what they believe their intentions are. And I think that's why the war actually escalated earlier than expected.
I mean, Trump did say he aimed to defend the American people in his war by eliminating imminent threat from the Iranian regime. Do you see this as a limited tactical operation, or maybe the beginning of a broader campaign to degrade Iran's military and nuclear infrastructure?
Well, I think what President Trump actually meant and said was that he's ready to defend America's interest and infrastructure in the Persian Gulf. And by extension, American allies like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, where U.S. actually have some of its bases. And from the address of the president said that there's a high possibility that Iran might have a nuclear weapon capable of reaching the United States. So they're not going to stand by and allow Iran to go ahead and strike the United States, just as we saw in 9/11.
So we are now seeing divergent global reactions. I mean, we've heard from Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and of course, France is also talking about as well. We've also heard from, German's Chancellor Friedrich Merz as well. They say they were not involved, but are in close contact. Meanwhile, Russia also and China are openly, criticizing this move. Is this a widening geopolitical fault lines? How do you describe these reactions from some of these world leaders?
Well, it's quite expected that China and Russia will definitely be on the side of Iran because they have deepening bilateral and diplomatic relations. Over time, Iran has built this camaraderie with China and, of course, Russia in the face of Israelis and the U.S. attacks in the past. And I think that what is different at this point is that it is not a joint operations per se, as we used to see in the past, where NATO members like Britain, France will join in the operations against Iran, just as we've seen against Iraq and Libya, but this time around it's just Israel and the United States. And this actually, kind of speaks to the cooperation between the NATO members. It's a little bit concerning that NATO members are not willing to join in this strike, but they're giving their moral support for Israel and the United States. But these are deeper conversations that need to be had in the future, when NATO members will come back together to see whether this alliance is something they want to continue with.
Take you back to, I mean, your comment earlier about the fact that what prompted these, or why the U.S. President Donald Trump is taking this step, is to eliminate the conversations around nuclear weapons. But if this operation really was designed to break Iran's resolve, particularly around uranium enrichment, do you realistically see Tehran abandoning its enrichment program under force?
Well, Iran has said that with a time to our number, that if any nation or a group of nations want to force the hand of Iran to drop their nuclear ambitions, that will be met with stiff opposition. We've seen that Iran has demonstrated that in the last 24 hours, or 12 hours, I should say. They've targeted installations, infrastructures of U.S. bases around the Gulf area, like in Bahrain, for instance. We've seen them also launching attacks, reprisal attacks against Israel. And this is what they have said before, and they are making it very known to the world that they have all the capabilities to actually react or repeal any attacks against it. But the conversation is not just about that. Iran is saying that.
Hello, Rotimi, can you hear me? Okay, perhaps we'll quickly take a break, and when we return, we'll get back to Rotimi as soon as possible. Well, Rotimi Kade is still on the line. Thank you for your time. Well, let's talk more on this development. President Trump has gone further, publicly urging Iranians to rise against their leadership, calling this the only chance. I mean, in his word, he said that's their only chance in generations. Historically, how much change can external pressure really bring to producing stable political transformation in Iran, or maybe anywhere else?
Well, I think President Trump was very when he made that statement. He would have seen the possibilities of Iran regime under the Islamic regime being toppled in a couple of days from now, and telling Iranian people to rise and take over their own government and destiny is absolutely nothing new. We've heard that over and over again, and coming at this time when there's a high possibility that with the joint operations of U.S. military and Israeli military, the IDF, there's much plausibility that the Ayatollah Khamenei's government could be toppled in a couple of days. But, the question now is who will take over the leadership of Iran? The United States hasn't come up with one person or maybe a group of people who can actually fill that vacuum. But what we know for sure is that the son of Shah, who has been in the United States for a very long time, may, if he has the political capital, to take over from the Islamic regime. But for now, the leadership question is still very much open.
I think a good place to leave it. Thank you so much for your time. Rotimi Kade is, in America, of course, who is also a pro-Trump. And of course, thank you so much for your time.